I am Will Scott. Welcome in to Boston Celtics Today by Chat Sports. And on today's show, we're going to be getting into a Celtics rumors mailbag. Certainly a lot to discuss. I appreciate all of you asking questions on our community page. But first, please follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. I'm hearing from my bosses that I need more Celtics fans to follow me on Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, you'll have a chance at a shout-out on our next show. In fact, the first 10 people that follow me after the show will get a shout-out on the next show. At WillScott44 on Twitter. Go and follow me there. King Wise with our first question. What's up, man? Talk about the Celtics not playing Fiondu, Cabangelli, and J.D. Davison. Yeah, good question. So those two guys are on two-way contracts. So they have spent a heavy majority of this season with the main Celtics in the G League. In fact, both guys have only played a combined 4 games with Boston. And I think a reason for that is just because the Celtics have a lot of depth. There's not really room for them right now. But I would like to see more of them here in the later stretch of the season, especially Fiondu Cabangelli. He was arguably the Celtics Summer League MVP, and then he gets the two-way contract, and he's playing really well in Maine. It'd give you some depth behind some of the Celtics centers. J.D. Davison, meanwhile, a promising young point guard out of Alabama, second-round pick by the Celtics last year. So I like both of those guys a lot. I'm with you, King Wise. I want to see more of those guys later on in the season. Ben Jones, what's up? We getting Will Barton. Yeah, Will Barton was cut, I should say, the other day by the Washington Wizards. So he's out there and available to sign right now, taking a look at what he's done this season. We talked about him before he got waived as a potential buyout candidate. 7.7 points per game, a little under 3 rebounds per game, 2.4 assists per game, and he's a solid three-point shooter, shooting 38% from the floor. That would be one of the best percentages on the Celtics if you bring him in, which is why I went to sign Will Barton. I think the Celtics need a little bit more depth at the 3. They addressed that team need at the 5, getting Mike Muscala in that trade at the deadline with the Oklahoma City Thunder. But I still think you need to take advantage of that last roster spot you have. The Celtics have one open roster spot right now. Will Barton, after Kevin Love, after Patrick Beverley, and all these guys got signed on the buyout market, is probably the best buyout option still out there and available. I would love to sign Will Barton. I think he would be a good fit. He's not going to play 25 minutes a game, but he'll still contribute on the Celtics team. Now, do you want to sign Will Barton? Type Y for yes or N for no down in the comment section. It is the pinned comment on today's video. So when ad break comes, go down, chime in. Y for yes, N for no on signing Will Barton. Bronson Action, thanks for the question. I think it's crazy that Tatum isn't the MVP frontrunner. Shaking my head. I'm shaking my head with you. It's absolutely ridiculous. The disrespect that Jayson Tatum is getting right now, the phenomenal season he's been having. But get this, taking a look at the latest ESPN straw poll, Jayson Tatum only has 5 first-place votes in the latest straw poll. Meanwhile, Jokic, 77 first-place votes. He's the clear front-runner right now. Coming out of the All-Star break, Giannis at 11 first-place votes. I was really surprised to see Joel Embiid, third place in front of Tatum with 6 first-place votes. Now, let's take a look at these numbers when you're talking about the 4 front-runners right now. Jokic is trying to become one of the very few players in NBA history to win 3 straight MVP awards. But his scoring production, and look, I understand the assists per game, the rebounds per game, what he's done in Denver, having the Nuggets in first place in the Western Conference. But his scoring production is not as high as the other 3 guys on this list, Giannis, Embiid, and Tatum. Jokic averaging under 25 points per game. I don't know if you can give the MVP to a guy averaging under 25 points per game when you have the other 3 guys all averaging over 30 points per game. And Jayson Tatum right now has the Celtics with the best record in the Eastern Conference, the best record in the NBA. All the offseason stuff went down, and yet the Celtics are still in this position. Yeah, that's in large part to Joe Mazzulla as well, but I also think you have to give a lot of credit to Jayson Tatum for the job that Tatum has done leading this team this season. I think the disrespect is loud. I think it is ridiculous. I think Jayson Tatum deserves to be the MVP. Speaking of Jayson Tatum, if you think he is the MVP, then go pick up his jersey on sale right now. Chatsports.com/Tatum on sale for a limited time. So go and get his jersey. I think he can still win MVP. Hopefully you feel the same way. Go and rep the real MVP, Jayson Tatum, by picking up his jersey right now. Chatsports.com/Tatum. That link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Kevin Calderon, what's up? Who should the Celtics target? That's a great question. I think a lot of Celtics fans right now are asking, what are the C's going to do with that final roster spot? And I think Carmelo Anthony makes a lot of sense. He has not retired. He's still wanting to play basketball, and he is still available to sign. Shockingly, I thought he would have a job by now after he put up pretty solid numbers with the Lakers last season. 13.3 points per game, 4.2 rebounds per game. Good three-point shooter. Got that shot back, shooting nearly 38% from the floor in 69 games with the Lake Show last year. And I think a lot of people were thinking, man, by going to the Lakers, he's going to have a shot to win a ring. Well, the Lakers didn't even make the playoffs last year. If he wants a ring, he should come to Boston. Taking a look at where he might fit in. And I said earlier, we're talking about Will Barton, that the Celtics need some more depth, maybe to 3, maybe to 4. Carmelo Anthony can play those 2 spots and can shoot the 3 very, very well. Now, should the Celtics sign Carmelo Anthony? S for sign, P for pass, down in the comment section. Carmelo deserves a ring. I think he does. Again, I've said this a lot. He deserves a ring. The Celtics are his best chance to win a ring. It makes sense for both sides. I think Brad Stevens should get this done. Sylvester Toad Jr. with another question. We appreciate you. Should we get another wing or big in the buyout market? Yes, I do. I think when you're looking at some options, those options right now are limited. Kevin Love was linked to the Celtics. You did not get him. Danny Green was a guy linked to the Celtics. You did not get him. So I'm looking at the options right now. We're limited there, but Will Barton is really solid, and I do believe that the Celtics are the front runners right now to sign Barton. But I'm with you. I think they need another wing. In terms of big men, I think the Celtics are pretty much set after the trade for Mike Muscala. Jace Foles, what's up? Thoughts on Mazzulla getting the permanent job? Absolutely thrilled with that decision, and I'm happy the Celtics did it right now. Because if they had not given him the permanent job, it would have put a lot of pressure on him in the playoffs, and if it would have been finals or bust, maybe you wouldn't get the job. Mazzulla deserves the job. The Celtics right now are even better than they were last year when they made the NBA Finals. They have the best offense in the Eastern Conference. They have the best record in the NBA. Joe Mazzulla has done a phenomenal job. I think he's exceeded expectations somewhat. It was not an easy position to step in for Ime Udoka, who shockingly got suspended right before the start of the season, but the Celtics have not missed a beat under Mazzulla, the youngest head coach of the NBA, doing a phenomenal job. He deserves the job. I'm very happy for Joe, and I do believe he's going to lead the Celtics to banner number 18. Bance saying, biggest threat to Boston. That's a really good question. When you're talking about the East, I still feel like it's Milwaukee. They come out of the All-Star break with 12 straight wins. They beat the Hospital Celtics last week. It felt like they were celebrating that win like they won a championship. Jaylen Brown wasn't playing. Jayson Tatum wasn't playing. So I still feel like the Celtics are clearly the better team. But the Bucks are probably the biggest threat. The 76ers are playing really good basketball. I feel like those are the 3 legitimate contenders in the East. Cleveland's had a great season. Give them a lot of credit. The Knicks are playing really well. But I don't think that any other team outside those top 3 are the favorites in the East. Now, when you're talking about the West all of a sudden is kind of tough. Before the trade deadline, it really wasn't. I wasn't really worried about any team in the West, in the words of John Morant. I was a little bit concerned about Denver. But are we sold on Denver? They've choked in the playoffs the last couple years. So I'm worried about Phoenix, obviously, adding Kevin Durant. They have KD. They have Devin Booker. They have CP3. They have DeAndre Ayton. The bench is a little bit of a question mark in Phoenix right now, but their starting 5 is arguably the best starting 5 in the NBA. So I do think we are going to see a Celtics-Suns finals, but Celtics in 5. I think the Celtics are ultimately going to get that done. Who are the Celtics' biggest threat? Go down in the comments section. Go down, let me know. Is it Phoenix? Is it Memphis? Is it Denver? Is it somebody in the East like the Bucks? or the Sixers, go down in the comments section. Let me know. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're going to continue to have you covered with all Boston Celtics news and rumors.